Hello everyone and welcome back to CraftersMC Skyblock. This is episode 22 and today we are going to finally be unlocking Zombie Slayer level 7. It's something we should have probably done a long time ago, and hopefully when we unlock it we should also be able to craft some new items as well. Before we do any of that though, there has been a lot happening in between episodes. If we check our bank, you can tell we now have over 20 million coins collected, and that is because we've been selling a lot of different items. I think at one point I sold like 25 cactus minions to someone. There was a bunch of different items that we sold, but I think the biggest one we sold was our superb beetroot candy for over 7 million coins. I did not know it was worth that much money, and I know I said we were going to use it to upgrade one of our legendary pets, but you really cannot pass up 7 million coins. We then also lost 200,000 coins trying to do another tier 5 in a live stream, but we don't talk about that. And it's fine anyways, because the other big thing that we've been doing in between episodes is farming, and we should now have enough enchanted beetroot to once again craft another superb beetroot candy. So we'll get to doing that later on, and we can actually check we've now collected over 1 million beetroot, and we're now server rank number 38. And the more exciting one is if we check our cactus collection, we have almost 500,000 cactus collected, and we are server rank number 5. We're finally top 5 in a collection. I'm actually so happy. This has been something that I've wanted to do for quite some time, so we are now top 5 in a collection, and it looks really fancy as well. Now, to actually get enough cactus, I did build a whole second layer to our cactus farm, so now we have 2, and then I also have enough room to build a second layer to our beetroot farm as well, which we'll probably do eventually to get even more superb beetroot candy, but for the moment, I'm like totally farmed out. We've done farming for like the past 2 to 3 days. Now, if we check our auction house, along with trading with different players, I've also been selling a bunch of our items on the auction house, and we've sold a bunch of enchanted cobblestone, and then I also realized enchanted cactus green sells for a bunch, so I sold some of that as well. And that is another 1.2 million coins that we can add to our bank. With all of this money, we should now actually be able to afford enough tier 4s to actually get to Zombie Slayer level 7 as well. We need 60,000 more experience, which means we do have to do 60 tier 4 Zombie Slayers, which is like more than we've ever done, so this is probably gonna take us a while. So let's put away our farming armor, put on our revenant armor, and I think to start off we're gonna do an hour of slayers and see just how far we get, and then we can kind of calculate and see how long this is going to take us. And after about an hour of doing tier 4s, we are now halfway to Zombie Slayer level 7, which honestly isn't too bad. I think that means it's probably gonna take us another 5 to 6 hours, which now thinking about it still sounds pretty bad, but we'll get through it. Now, before we actually do all of those tier 4s and get to Zombie Slayer level 7, there's a couple of things we should probably prepare for first. The biggest thing I think we're gonna need is a bunch of enchanted string, and we currently have a couple stacks, which isn't too bad, but we are going to need a bunch more. Now, at the moment, we only have 2 spider minions and 1 cave spider minion, which is not going to be enough, and we're definitely going to have to craft more. But before we do that, I think we need to make some room and get rid of a couple of these other minions. First off, our creeper minion is a level 10, and to max him out, we only need 16 enchanted fireworks, which is actually a pretty simple recipe. It is literally just a stack of enchanted gunpowder and some paper, so if we craft to 16 of these, we can then fully max out our creeper minion. Next up, with all of the cactus we have collected, we should actually have enough enchanted cactus green to max out our cactus minion. We need 16 enchanted cactus, which is a lot, but it looks like we just have enough, so we can now upgrade our cactus minion to level 11, and that is another maxed out minion that we can pick up. We can also collect all of the resources from our duck minion and then upgrade him to level 9. With all of the beetroot we have, we can also upgrade our beetroot minion to level 7, level 8, and level 9. That should be all of the minions now picked up, but we should also probably empty this storage of all of the raw pork chops so that we can actually use this mob dropper for our spider minions. Oh wow, there's a lot of pork chop in here. And even with all of that pork chop, that is only 3 enchanted cooked pork chop collected, so yeah, this pigment sword is gonna take us a while. The storage system is now fully cleaned out though, so we can place down all of our spider minions, and then we can start crafting some new ones as well as we get more string. Also, this chest has all of our minion accessories in it. It's on honestly kind of cool to look at. But yeah, this really shouldn't take us too long to craft up all of these tier 1 spider minions and then place them in our farm. And then I guess while we do that, we can also farm and harvest all of our crops as well. And after a little bit of time, we already have a bunch of spider minions spawning a bunch of spiders already. Now we have about 10 spider minions we still have to craft, and we will be working on that. But if we turn to farming for a second and head into the village, if you don't remember the end of last episode, we actually gave our epic rabbit pet to this pet sitter, and if we talk to her, we should now be able to get a legendary one. This is actually our second legendary pet, and if we look at the statistics, we get health and speed. We also have an ability called Happy Feet, which gives jump boost. There's also one that gives more farming wisdom, and this last one is probably my favorite ability, which is called efficient farming, and farming minions work faster while on your island, which is actually so cool. It's obviously not very useful right now because all of our minions are combat minions, but definitely when we have all of our farming minions back on our island, this is going to be so nice to have. So while we wait for a bunch of string, we can actually equip this pet and then start upgrading it with some farming. All 20 minions have now been placed down, and they are spawning a ton of spiders. I also upgraded them all to tier 3, so they are now spawning spiders every 20 seconds. And we did a little bit of farming and AFKing, so we should have a bunch of string in all of these chests. That is a good couple of double chests full of string and spider eyes. So this farm actually worked out great, and then hopefully in a couple of days of AFKing, we should be able to get a bunch of enchanted string. While doing all of that farming as well, our legendary rabbit pet is already level 52, and it's giving us some very awesome statistic boosts. And I was also able to sell a bunch more enchanted cactus green in the auction house, which looks like it all sold, so we can collect that, and that's another 2 million coins. Oh, also in between episodes, I did a couple more of these quests, and if we actually check our skills, we are now over enchanting level 20, which means we should be able to do the next tier of quests, the high experiment quest, which is going to be a little bit more difficult. The grid size is a 5x4, but we do get a much better completion reward of a 200,000 XP, and we get a couple more clicks, and the starting cost is only 50 experience levels, so I guess let's begin. Oh, okay, actually it's not looking too bad so far. We've gotten 3 pairs with 1 guess. Oh, we got that, nice. All right, so that should be a little bit more rewards. Oh, and we are now at enchanting level 22 already, so we'll definitely be doing more of that to get more enchanting experience, although the cooldown time is insane. Like 1 real life day, it takes so long. While farming as well, we also got a ton more enchanted beetroot, which is actually enough to craft another superb beetroot candy, so I think we're going to spend a little bit of time crafting it. It is definitely a recipe that takes a little bit of time to craft, because we first have to actually get all of the golden beetroot and then turn that into enchanted golden beetroot, and that is a 24 enchanted golden beetroot, which is just enough to craft the superb beetroot candy. But I think we are going to do a little bit more farming because we are so close to the next farming level. We are less than 8% away, which really isn't going to take that long, because if we check our rabbit pet, we get a farming wisdom boost of 15.6%, which helps out a lot, and that is a farming at level 33. So we can now craft a great beetroot candy and then the superb beetroot candy, and instead of selling this one, we're actually going to use it on one of our pets. And I did say that we were going to use it on a legendary pet, but I actually kind of want to use it on an epic pet, and the reason is that a lot of people pointed out in the comments of last video, it's actually a lot easier to upgrade an epic pet over a legendary pet, and then after maxing out an epic pet, we then upgrade it to legendary, which is actually a really smart idea. And I think we're gonna start with the zombie pet because we have not done anything with this guy yet, and he's gonna be very nice to use with slayers. So let's grab our superb beetroot candy and give it to our epic zombie pet. He's only level 1 right now, but it's gonna get him to a level 52, which is actually insane. That would have taken us forever to do manually, and it looks like he gives a plus 15 crit damage, a plus 52 health. It has a chomp ability that heals 13 HP per zombie kill, and a rotten blade ability that does 64% more damage to zombies. Oh wow, we're almost doing already 30,000 damage to crypt gals, which is like 10,000 more than we did before. So this is going to be very nice with zombie slayers because we can then do them even faster. And honestly, I think let's do a bunch more zombie slayers and hopefully get a lot closer to zombie slayer level 7 so we can start a tier 4 quest. And I guess let's just spend a couple hours doing a bunch of zombie slayers. And it's been a little bit of time. We've actually done a bunch of tier 4s, and I think we're only like 25,000 experience away from Zombie Slayer level 7. But we're gonna take a little bit of a break from doing tier 4s because, as you can tell by our Slayer quest, we are about to spawn in a tier 5. And although we can't do a tier 5 by ourselves, there are a bunch of people in Reaper armor here who have actually offered to do a tier 5 for us. And there we go, the tier 5 is now spawned in, and their health is actually going down. This guy's offered to take it for us. I think my job is just I have to keep moving around and like get hit once or twice. Oh yeah, he's already half health. Oh, this is looking good. Oh, 1 million health. Come on. Oh, yes, let's go. There we go. Our first tier 5 completed. Oh, and there's another one spawning in. Yeah, we definitely need to get Reaper armor soon because being able to do a tier 5 by ourselves would be so fun. Like, look at how fast the health is going down. That's 10 million HP just like gone like that. So yeah, huge shout out and thanks to this guy. And then if we actually check our Slayer level now, just that one tier 5 gave us 1.5 thousand Zombie Slayer experience, and we are now only 20,000 XP away from Zombie Slayer level 7. So we probably have another 2 to 3 hours of doing tier 4s until we hit level 7. Before we do that though, I do kind of want to change my armor a little bit. So for our helmet, we've been using this revived heart, which was really good for health and intelligence, but now that we get a bunch of defense on our armor and we have the Reaper Falchion, we really don't need this anymore. And I think we can actually replace it with our Frozen Blaze helmet because this gives a bunch of strength and critical damage, which will be nice to actually kill tier 4s even faster. So if we start another tier 4 quest and head into the caves, we are now doing over 36,000 damage to these zombies. We don't have as much health as we would with the revived heart, but honestly, if we can kill the tier 4 fast enough where we don't need all of that health, I think it should be fine. Also, our zombie pet is helping a bunch with this damage as well. He is already level 59 and is giving us a bunch more damage to zombies. And I definitely want to get another Superba beetroot candy to give it to our zombie pet so that we can do even more damage before the end of this episode. But yeah, we can spawn in a tier 4 and it looks like, yeah, we're going down a little bit in health, but I think it should be fine. We're also doing like 40 to 50,000 damage to the tier 4 and he is already dead. That is like so much better than the revived heart. So yeah, let's get back to doing a bunch of tier 4s and then hopefully within the next hour or two we'll be at least somewhat close to Zombie Slayer level 7. So it's been about 2 to 3 hours, and if we check our Zombie Slayer level, we are now less than 7,000 XP away from Zombie Slayer level 7. We are so close. We did a bunch of tier 4s and also got some help with doing some tier 5s, which made it go a lot quicker. And we are finally in the home stretch. Now, before we get the rest of the experience, we can take a break for a moment and head over to the village, because it is the end of the Skyblock year, so we can go claim our New Year's cake. While doing all those Slayers, we also sold a bunch more enchanted cactus green in the auction, which we can then collect up and add another 1,000,000 coins to our bank as well, which is very nice because those Slayers are very expensive. While doing all those Slayers as well, we got another double chest and a little bit full of revenant flesh, so hopefully this will be useful in the future. We also dropped a bunch of foul flesh from the tier 4s, and we haven't actually used this item too much, but it increases a minion speed by 80% for 4 hours, which is pretty good. An enchanted lava bucket only increases the minion speed by 25%, so I think what we're gonna do is replace some of these lava buckets with the foul flesh. And since it only lasts for 4 hours, I think we're gonna go AFK for a bit and then let our minions work like crazy. Oh yeah, with the lava buckets, the time between actions was 20 seconds and now it's only 14 seconds. This is going to help a ton. While we're AFK as well, we can also probably harvest some more enchanted beetroot as well, because I did do a bunch of harvesting and we are probably like 9 stacks away from being able to craft another superb beetroot candy, which would be really nice to use in our zombie minion. So we might do a little bit of that as well. So we actually went AFK for about a day and we used a bunch more foul flesh in our minions, and if we actually check our string supply now, I've actually already had to clear this storage system twice and it's pretty much already filled back up, and then I turned all of that into enchanted string and we are now at almost 18 stacks stacks of enchanted string. We can then clear all of these chests a third time. We are now at 20 stacks of enchanted string and over 9 stacks of enchanted spider eyes, which is an extra bonus. This is not including all of the string that we already have in our storage system as well, so we have a pretty decent amount of string. It's definitely not enough, but we are getting closer. So I guess we can just keep our spider minions running until we have enough string. While being AFK as well, we harvested enough enchanted beetroot to craft 24 enchanted golden beetroot and a great beetroot candy, which we can then turn into another superb beetroot candy. And although we could give this to our epic zombie pet, it looks like it would only upgrade him an extra 4 levels, which really doesn't sound like that much, so we might hold on to this candy for right now. Yeah, an extra 4 levels just doesn't really seem worth it, so I guess we'll just keep this one until we have like a new legendary or epic pet. Also, we can do another one of these experiment quests to get some more enchanting experience. And we are now enchanting level 23. And with all of that out of the way, we can head back into the caves and do the last couple tier 4s we need until Zombie Slayer level 7. I think we only have to do 12 to 14 more tier 4s, so we're really in the home stretch now. There's our first one, that is the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, that's the sixth one, that's the seventh one, eighth one, that's number 9. I've kind of lost count, but I think that's number 10, number 11, number 12, and that should be the final tier 4. Which means if we call Maddox and claim the rewards, we are now a Zombie Slayer level 7. And it looks like we actually get a bunch of different rewards with this. So we get the full Reaper set recipe, the Reaper mask, Reaper chestplate, Reaper leggings, and Reaper boots. We also get the zombie artifact, ethereal scythe, and wand of atonement recipes, so we've just unlocked so many new items. And we also get a permanent plus 25 soul saturation and a plus 5 health, so let's claim these rewards. Oh wow, okay, Zombie Slayer level 8 is 400,000 experience. That's gonna take us a while to unlock. It is actually kind of crazy how fast we can do tier 4s now though, because like it used to be that we were so scared to do a tier 4, but we now just did like 10 of them in less than an hour, which is insane. So now we'll just have to do that with tier 5s, and then hopefully Slayer level 8 and 9 really shouldn't be that hard to do. Now I guess we can check out some of these new recipes that we just unlocked. I think the thing I'm most excited for is unlocking this Reaper armor, because it is apparently very good. It is insanely expensive though, like this is why we need all of that enchanted string, because we need 2 stacks of Revenant Viscera for each part of this armor. And to craft just 1 stack of Revenant Viscera, it's like over a chest full of enchanted strings. So yeah, that's probably gonna take us a while to craft, but it is worth it. This armor is like so good. It gives plus 25 strength, plus 120 health, plus 50 defense, and plus 250 intelligence. It has a bunch of full set bonuses as well that gives so much more strength and defense, so I'm really excited to get all of this armor. So throughout the rest of this episode and into the next one, we'll definitely be working on crafting this armor and getting enough Revenant Viscera, because I think we have enough ingredients for like the rest of the recipe. If we check some of these other recipes, we have the Ethereal Scythe, which costs 3 Revenant Falchions, a stack of Revenant Viscera, and a Scythe Blade, which is like a really rare drop from a Zombie Slayer. But this thing does so much damage and it has some really cool abilities, so eventually we'll try and craft that as well. The Wand of Atonement is just a wand upgrade, and it is really expensive for something that we really don't need, so I don't think we'll be crafting it anytime soon. And then we also have the Zombie Artifact, which is an upgrade to the Zombie Accessories, so eventually we'll probably get this eventually. But yeah, our top priority is definitely getting this full Reaper armor, because then we'll finally have a chance to actually be able to do tier 5s on our own. Okay, this might be really risky, but just checking the auction house, it looks like Revenant Viscera is going for just under 10 million coins, which I think is a really good deal. Yeah, it looks like they usually go for around 11 million coins, so this really isn't that bad of a deal. It's still a lot of money, but I think we'll probably have to buy some eventually, so it's probably better that we get it for like a better price. We currently have 23 million coins in the bank, so I guess let's just withdraw all of this and then head back into the auction. I think for right now, we'll just start with buying 2 stacks, because that's all we can really afford, and the price might even go down even more. So yeah, there is 1 stack, and that is stack number 2, which means we just went from 23 million coins to 3 million coins, which definitely hurts to see, but I think it was worth it. This does mean that we are about a quarter of the way to being able to craft the entire Reaper armor set, but it's still probably gonna take some time. While we wait to get enough enchanted string to actually be able to craft all of the Revenant Viscara we need, we can actually do a couple of other things to help us get closer to being able to solo a tier 5. First off, we can talk to the pet sitter to actually upgrade our zombie pet, because I think he is a high enough level where we can actually upgrade him to legendary. Getting him to legendary will give us a bunch more critical damage and health, and I think it will also give us a third ability. Oh, okay, so it is gonna take 10 days for him to upgrade to legendary, and it's gonna cost 250,000 coins and 8 zombie hearts. Okay, that is gonna take some time, but I do think it is worth it, so we can head back to our island and grab all of those zombie hearts. And so we can hire the pet sitter, and I guess in 10 days we can come back and get our legendary zombie pet. Speaking about pets, we should actually have enough enchanted duck eggs to be able to craft another super enchanted duck egg, which means we can actually craft another pet. And I was kind of looking at this ocelot pet here because it is a forging pet, and I don't think we actually have one of those yet. The recipe takes a super enchanted duck egg and 8 stacks of enchanted jungle logs, and then it gives us speed, ferocity, and then we don't actually know the ability yet. Looking at all of the other pets, I think the ocelot pet is the one we want the most, and honestly getting all of this jungle log as well will help us upgrade our forging skill. And if we actually check the forging rewards, each level gives a little bit more strength, and that is going to be really good for doing tier 5s as well. So upgrading our forging level to as high as we can is going to be really beneficial in the long run, and then we'll also get enough jungle logs to actually be able to craft this ocelot pet. And we have now hit to forging level 23, which took a lot longer than I expected, but we should now have more than enough enchanted jungle logs to craft this ocelot pet. Once again, the rarity of this pet can either be epic or legendary. It is completely random, so let us craft it. Okay, well, we got epic again. Still no luck with the legendary pet, but eventually we'll get one. We can actually see what abilities this pet gives now. So it has the forging wisdom boost, which grants more forging wisdom the more we level up this pet, and the tree hugger ability, which lets the forging minions work faster while on your island, and that is going to be very good when we're trying to upgrade our forging minions. And actually, if we head into the dark oak zone and equip our new ocelot pet, we can actually use some of these dark oak trees to upgrade our ocelot pet pretty quickly. With the tree capacitator, it breaks so many logs at once, and dark oak trees are the best for this, so I think we're just gonna run around a little bit and try and upgrade this guy as much as we can. And there we go, our ocelot pet is already over a level 20, which really didn't take too long, so I think this pet is actually gonna be pretty easy to upgrade and max out. And it is also gonna be a huge help when upgrading our forging skills. So honestly, I don't think we're really gonna need to use this superb beetroot candy on any of our pets, because it is pretty easy to just upgrade them ourselves. So I think instead we're gonna put this on the auction house and get some money for it. And along with all of our enchanted cactus green, hopefully all of this sells, and if it does, that is gonna be a lot of money. Now back to upgrading our gear so that we can actually do tier 5s by ourselves. I think we're missing 1 or 2 accessories that we can actually reforge to get more critical damage. The first one being a fire extinguisher, which reduces damage you get from fire mobs by 10%, which is kind of nice to have, so we can craft that. At the moment, we don't quite have enough enchanted redstone blocks to actually upgrade our personal compactor to 7,000, but we can actually upgrade our personal deleter. With a bunch of iron ingots, we can actually upgrade it to 6,000 and then 7,000 as well. And then if we head over to the blacksmith, we can actually reforge this fire extinguisher and hopefully get hurtful. Oh wow, and if we check our statistics now, we have over 200% crit damage, which is like a lot of damage. And I think the last thing we can actually do to get ready for a tier 5 is to collect the rest of the reality shards, because we currently only have a 9 out of 99 collected, and it's something we probably should have done a while ago. It looks like there is a 15 in the deep caverns, 54 in the skyline village, and 30 in the park, which is quite a bunch, and if we tried to find all of these by ourselves, it would take us forever. Thankfully though, we have YouTube videos, so I'm going to be using a YouTube tutorial from a user named Chaos the Chaos. They are a very epic YouTuber, and they actually have a video on every single reality shard in each of the different locations, so we're going to be using that to actually find all of the reality shards. This is actually such a great time saver, so huge shout out to him, and if you want to use any of these tutorials for yourself, the links will be in the description. And hopefully we should have all of the reality shards in no time. That is the last reality shard for this village, and I didn't even know there was like clouds down here. This is actually kind of cool. And that is the final reality shard for the deep caverns, so we can head into the park. And with one last reality shard, that is every single reality shard collected. That was definitely a lot more difficult than finding the fairy souls. They found a bunch of very tricky spaces to hide them, but we should now be able to give them all to the fairy queen. And with all of the reality shards given to the fairy queen, we now have over 1.2 thousand HP. And it looks like it also gave us a bunch more defense, strength, speed, and magic find. Oh wow, okay, so we're doing about 25,000 damage without our zombie pet, which is actually pretty decent. And now while fighting Slayer bosses, we also have a bunch more health to survive. So we'll definitely be doing a lot more Slayers in between episodes and as well as next episode, because we are going to need a bunch of Revenant flesh to go along with the enchanted string to actually craft the Revenant Viscera. Now this episode has been filled with a lot of grinding, so I think to end it off, we can actually head to the village and do something a little bit different. If we head over to the blacksmith, there is actually an entire basement down here that I completely missed the first time we were here. And if we head downstairs, this is where the archer is, where we can buy arrows, but there's also like a bunch of new arrows that were added to this update that we still have not checked out yet. All of them are currently locked right now, and that is because it requires target practice levels to unlock all of these different types of arrows. And you might be wondering what the target practice level means. So if we actually head down even more to the basement, there is a target range down here. And so from what I understand, we actually have to stand on this pressure plate, and then it will start the target practice, and then we have to hit different targets in a certain amount of time. It looks like there's also a leaderboard that we can try and get on. There's a couple of very cool people on here, but yeah, I guess let's just try this target practice out. Oh, okay, so we have to shoot all of the lanterns. I don't think I have the right bow for this. Yeah, the short bow would have probably worked a lot better. Okay, so we completed that in 22.9 seconds. Nowhere close to the leaderboard, but if we actually head back up to the archer NPC, we actually have some of the arrows unlocked now. So the reinforced gold tipped and redstone tipped arrows are now unlocked, and I guess they just do more damage. And then I guess as we keep doing more target practice, we'll actually unlock the rest of the arrows as well. I did just grab our short bow, so this should make it a lot easier. Okay, we did that one in 14 seconds now, and that is a target practice level 2 unlocked. And I think if we do the target practice one more time, we should now have all of the arrows unlocked. So there is the bouncy arrow, which has a 50% chance to bounce to another target, which sounds pretty funny. But yeah, I think the emerald tip arrow is gonna probably be the best because it's pretty inexpensive and deals 20 damage per arrow, which is like really good. Now it looks like since we've done all 3 levels of the target practice, we've unlocked a free mode, which means we can literally just do this for as long as we want. So I think I want to try this a couple more times and see how fast we can do it. I don't think we're gonna get on the leaderboard, but it would be kind of cool. Okay, I don't know how this just happened, but after only a few attempts, we just got 8.4 seconds, which puts us 4th on the leaderboard already. Now, it's not showing because it updates every 2 to 3 hours, so we do have to wait to actually be on the leaderboard. So I guess while we're waiting, we can do it again and see if we can get a better time. Okay, well, I think I just spent the last hour doing this, and it is way too much fun. We should probably stop before I get too addicted, but the leaderboard has been updated, and we are now 4th. I did get a better time of 8.1 seconds, which I think is the best I can do for right now. That was like me hitting all of them in perfect sync, so like I have no clue how these guys are getting 5 seconds. I'm still really excited though that we are top 5 and on the leaderboard. That is really cool, and I guess I'll keep practicing in between episodes and hopefully get a better time. But yeah, I think that is all the time we have for this episode. It was a pretty grindy episode, but honestly I had a bunch of fun, and I am so glad we are now Slayer level 7. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I do hope you all did enjoy. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and other than that, hope you all have an awesome rest of your day.